welcome back. It's Life on Mute.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
It's Marlena and Kevin.
That is us.
All right, guys. So, thank you so much for listening. And guess what?
What?
I haven't even told Kevin yet.
Oh my gosh.
We have our first email.
Wow, we have an email?
Yes. And
oh my goodness.
I wanted that to be the first thing we talk about because I'm so excited and I'm so happy that someone has already emailed us, and we want all of you who are listening to email us too. Send us your stories. You know, if we're talking about something in particular that you guys want to add a story, you know, to that we will read them on the podcast as well. So please send those in. We'd love to see what you guys are writing.
Well, let's hear it. What did this mystery person say?
So I'm not going to say their name just because they didn't specifically say in the email to say their name or not. So, so let me read this to you. This was involving one of our episodes when we were talking about our weird food / snacks that we enjoyed that other people might not understand or like, but let's see. They say, yo, me and my family members all have our random food combos and snacks that most people find weird. My parents especially. One of them is similar to Kevin's, the Lay's and ketchup thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
They like to eat tortilla chips with ketchup all over them.
Now that is disgusting.
Now that has just gone too far.
That's gone way too far. Classic Lay's or nothing.
So they continue saying, that's a gross one for me, LOL. They say it's similar to fries and ketchup, but I strongly disagree. She wrote in big font. They also like to eat what they call tacos de sour cream, which is literally just a tortilla with sour cream inside.
Oh.
With a hint of salt.
Huh.
So it's just literally a taco with sour cream in it, and that's it. Put some salt on it.
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
I don't think I've seen that. That sounds gross. What do you think?
No, I don't like that much sour cream, you know. I like a dollop, just a little bit of sour cream, you know.
And then they continue saying, I personally hate sour cream in general, so this one is just the nastiest for me. I know personally my favorite is mixing my salsa or hot sauce with syrup on my breakfast foods, especially on eggs or hash browns. I know I have had people look at me with disgust when I do that. But like anything, I guess we can't knock it till we try it.
Well, I mean, there's a little spicy sweet going on there. I can see it. A little syrup with your salsa. At least it's not like, I was thinking they were going to say, you know, they're going to dip their chips into it, but at least it's with breakfast, right?
Yeah, so the tacos with the sour cream tacos were her parents, but that one's her favorite, she said.
I am not down with sour cream tacos. That is not okay.
Yeah, salsa or hot sauce all over like pancakes, eggs, and like hash browns and all that.
It all goes in the same place, you know, and it's the same meal. So.
I mean, some people put like hot sauce on their eggs. I guess I wouldn't. Oh, and syrup. So they put syrup on everything and then hot sauce on everything. I mean,
it's okay with me.
At the end of the day, I mean, I guess it's all going in the same place, right?
She's
just trying to. Would you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Put your hot sauce on
probably
everything?
have had that because I used to make like salsa eggs a lot. Like I'll just make eggs and then put salsa in it.
Yeah.
While I'm cooking it. It was pretty good, but
a lot of people have hot sauce or salsa with their eggs, scrambled eggs, or
yeah. So a little syrup, you know, slips in there somehow. You know, no big deal.
Yeah, it's not too crazy. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do it, but it's not too crazy.
Yep. Well, thank you for the email. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you so much for being our first. Yay.
Number one.
I'm happy. You guys, please send us your emails. We'll talk about them here.
Yep.
All right, Kevin. Now that we got that exciting news out of the way, who wants to go first? You or me?
Well, I figure I could share a little bit of weird drinking laws. Why not?
Okay, and it's from where did you find it from?
We got this Craft Beer Club, craftbeerclub.com.
Okay.
So this is weird drinking laws in our 50 states. Skip around a little bit. Some of them are a little more boring than others, but for instance, Iowa, you cannot put anything on a tab. You have to pay up front. Yeah.
Iowa.
Good old Iowa. They don't want you to run a tab anymore. It's just all up front or nothing. And I don't know, that seems like a hassle. It's kind of nice being able to go to a bar and, just kind of drink, and then at the end you have your regrets, You don't want to be regretting it as you go.
I wonder if it's for those people who don't realize how much they're racking up, and then they can't cover the bill at the end of it or something.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I would say that would be a good reason not to.
I feel like I would overtip if I was paying up front every time. Which, I mean, I guess it's, again, good for the bartender, but not good for my wallet.
I mean, it's just the fact that they just have to swipe your card or give you cash every time. I mean, that's not that big of a hassle.
Yeah.
Iowa. Okay.
Yep, Iowa. Well, in good old Kansas, they didn't... So, back in the day, they had the Prohibition, and it ended in 1933, right? Everybody had it, not just Kansas. And the Prohibition ended in 1933. Well, residents in Kansas could not buy a drink on premise at a bar or restaurant until 1987.
Oh, shit.
1987.
What?
What did they drink at bars? Did they have bars then?
I know.
It says specifically at a bar or a restaurant until 1987, so...
They just couldn't go out and have a drink. They could probably buy some at the grocery store, and they were only allowed to drink at home.
You could bring it to the bar. So I wonder if the bars had cover charges, like $10, you could come drink your alcohol here.
They wouldn't take
We just can't sell it.
drinks to the bar. They'd have to pregame at home, and
That's the only way?
then just show up at the bar later, at the club later.
Yeah, because they had a statewide ban until 1948, but yeah, you couldn't buy it at a bar or a restaurant until 1987. So from 1948 to 1987, you were stuck going to the grocery store or the liquor store or where have you, trying to get your stuff. And then you have some minor laws, which kind of makes sense. Like in Kentucky, it is illegal to sell alcohol on Election Day.
That is a strange day to not sell alcohol. Why?
They want you to pay attention to your TV that day, I guess. Once you go, you vote, and then I don't know.
I wouldn't understand why they just pick a particular day, regardless if it was election day or not. You know what I mean? Why pick just one day? No one is allowed to buy alcohol. That just seems silly.
Yeah, Kentucky is known for their alcohol too, so that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I guess last in Louisiana. Drive-thrus are allowed to serve alcohol, and the state considers them to be closed containers, but that only applies as long as the straw has not been put through the lid of the drink. So you can go through, your local McDonald's and have yourself a nice beer in Louisiana, if McDonald's sells beer there. I don't think they do.
Huh.
But you can get it through a drive-thru, so that's convenient, right?
You just can't drink it.
You can't drink it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
You can't drink and drive, but you could be tantalized with the idea. So there you have it. That's a few more, little interesting, weird drinking laws that we have here. Kind of figured, at some point, is this all just going to be condensed, is the whole nation gonna have the same laws at some point, or is it always gonna be the states separated? Probably it's just gonna stay separated. What am I thinking?
Okay, well, those were weird.
Yep.
It's weird how everything has something very specific. So far that we've done this, everything is very specific kind of law. Or specific to a day, specific to the happy hour. It just seems really weird, side laws that are just very particular.
Maybe in Kentucky everybody got too drunk and forgot to vote, so they had to make it a law. No drinking today. can't do it.
They're like, fuck the election, I'm drinking this day.
Yep.
We're not going to vote at all. Okay, my turn.
What do you have for us?
Kevin, do you have a dirty little secret?
No.
No, I don't.
What are you talking about?
Okay, well, let's see what our Reddit corner says.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what I found on Reddit. This is on an Ask Reddit. Okay, so obviously the question was, what's your dirty little secret?
What do you got for us?
So, okay, this one says, I had only just begun paying off a vehicle loan in mid-1999. My January payment was returned with the bank saying it was paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close. Thanks, Y2K. And they, someone responded with, this happened to my former boss. One day he went to go make a payment on his new car and his account showed a zero balance. He tried to correct it, but they said it was paid off. He let it go and waited for a month or two for them to realize the mistake, but they never did.
That is amazing. Everybody dreams of something like that happening. Right? Isn't that like the main thing? Like one day, you know, you look at your little credit card debt and it says zero and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't pay that off.
Oh my, I mean, imagine
That's a fantasy.
Buying a brand new car. That was the best year to buy a car.
That was a good year, solid year.
That was the best Y2K. For those of you who don't know the Y2K thing, everyone thought, or it was like something that was passed down and then just grew into a big old thing. I'm assuming that in 1999, everyone thought that the world was ending or that all the computers were going to shut down.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was so basically like the clocks, they all used the last two digits, right? So up until that point, it was, 97, 98, 99. So everyone was like, well, what the hell's going to happen when it has to switch over? How's it going to know that did time reset? It's going to say 00. And for some reason, everybody thought that would have a huge impact on all the computers, airplanes, and
all
everything.
The banks. Yeah, all the banks, all planes. Basically, anything that had to do with technology. Obviously, technology was still new in 1999. We had the computer, in the late 80s, maybe early 90s?
Probably. I don't know.
So, everyone in 1999 was so afraid that, all the computers are going to shut down, all the banks are going to close, and no one was going to have access to money or anything like that, right? Isn't that what it was?
Basically.
So yeah. Stuff like that.
So
I'm sure there's a little more to it, but
I know some people got rich selling Y2K survival packs and stuff, and that's the capitalism on those guys.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, I wasn't, that very old. I was born in 93, so I wasn't really aware of what was going on during this time, but I'm sure my parents would probably have more of an idea. But it was like a big thing. Everyone was afraid of the ball dropping on New Year's Eve at that point, just because of the unknown,
Yeah.
But that's a perfect example of those people, that Reddit post, like,
hey, few people lucked out, man.
They, computers didn't save any information for some places, obviously, if these people got free cars, basically.
That is nice.
Imagine buying a brand new car. Maybe it's only a couple of months old. Maybe it's only a year old, and then the year 2000 comes around, and all of a sudden, your car's free.
That is amazing.
Oh my god!
That would be so great.
I wish. I'm almost done paying off my car, and I can't wait for the day.
Tell me about it.
It's like 6 year or whatever financing, but I wish. This next one is, when our phone was disconnected in the 1990s for non-payment, I dialed 911 to see if they would still pick up. They did, but I hung up right away. 10 minutes later, the cops showed up at my door, and I blamed it on the kids.
Nope.
And then someone replied saying, pro parent move right there. Good job.
Just blame it on the kids.
I mean, you won't. I don't think really anyone knew how that worked back then either. I don't remember at what point did they make it mandatory if any phone was disconnected for any reason. It's still mandatory for you to be able to make an emergency call, life or death situation.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. And still to this day you can.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not 100% sure until you try, right?
Well, they gave it a shot. They tested it.
Okay, this next one, it says, when I was in high school, I failed the second semester of biology. So here comes the next year, and I have to retake it. Again, I passed the first semester, but failed the second, which means retaking the entire class. Well, I transferred schools after that. When I was getting all my transfer information looked over in the office at the new school, the woman noticed I had passed 2 first semesters, but never a full class. I said, passing 2 semesters is kind of like a full class. She winked, and that was that. No more bio. I guess it's our dirty little secret.
There you go.
The free pass. Oh.
Got away with that one.
I mean, what the headache is over at that point. What a relief. Oh my gosh. Let me see. This next one. When I was a kid, my mom took away my favorite computer game CD for a few weeks as punishment for something I did. A bad grade, I think. I found where she hid it, photocopied the CD label,
Nice.
cut out the print, glued it to the blank disc, and put it in place of the real CD.
There you go.
Surprisingly, she never noticed.
Of course.
I played it when no one else was home. It was 18 years, and I still haven't told her.
You take that one to your grave, buddy. That was just out maneuvering an adult, man. Good work.
Basically, hoodwinking your parents because they didn't know how technology works.
That's their fault. It's their problem.
Or they didn't know enough about it. The fact that you could basically print out a sticker of the cover of the CD and then just of a blank CD and just put it in a place as if you never touched it.
Yeah. That's
I'm pretty sure I've done something like this. Not necessarily like copied a CD and like put it in place of the real CD, but I've probably they've probably taken away like a game or something, and I've gone, to sneak and grabbed it and played it when I could, but then I'd put it back when, without them noticing or something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always those times that came up where you still gotta play your games, What can you do?
Or like if my phone was taken away or something, I figured out where it was hiding, where they hid it or whatever.
Grab it, send off some text real quick, put it back.
Yeah. Like text my friends, hey, I got my phone taken away, just so you guys know. That's why I'm not responding, or whoever it was.
Had to let everybody know.
Yeah, like, hey guys, I'm not going to respond for a while. My phone was taken away. I'll respond when I can. And then occasionally try to respond to my friends when I could grab my phone. Did you ever try to get away with something like that? Like a game or like a CD that was taken away or something like that?
I've had like my phone taken away and I just took it back because it was just sitting on the counter. And the counter was always cluttered, so I was just grab my phone. And I think I had it for a few more days until they realized it wasn't on the counter anymore. Yeah, I didn't really care. Well, it didn't matter to me too much. If you're going to be in trouble, hey, what can you do?
That's one way of getting it back. Let's see. This other one, I don't know if it's the last one or not. I think it is. Yeah, it's the last one. It says, one time when I was like 5 through 9 years old, my dad was shopping around at a lumber store. I wandered around alone and couldn't find a bathroom. I had to pee so bad. So I just found a secluded back corner behind some wood and pissed on the floor.
Oh, no.
30 years later, I still drive by that place every day and remember.
30 years later.
Imagine, imagine taking a pause to remember, and that's the place where I pissed.
That was a good pee.
In the store.
That was a good one. Top 10.
That's my dirty little secret right in there.
That's a top 10 piss right there.
A top 10 piss.
Yep, one of the best. One of the greats.
One of the greatest spots that I ever pissed. This person responded to that saying, according to natural law, that lumber store belongs to you now.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
Well, congratulations.
You own a lumber store.
It's yours.
It's yours. You pissed on it, it's yours.
You piss it, you buy it. All right, Marlena, let me ask you something. You know of the phenomenon called deja vu, right?
Yes.
Well, did you know that there is an opposite phenomenon?
No.
Well, there is. It's called jamais vu.
What is that?
Jamais vu. It's when something familiar becomes unfamiliar.
Like forgetting something?
Yep. But it could be something like, say like you walk into your living room and all of a sudden it doesn't look like it for some reason in your head, it feels like you've never been in there before, but it's your living room. You have this phenomenon, this sense of it just being new. It's a new experience to you. Yeah.
Okay. Like, for some reason I'm thinking of like as if like Alzheimer's or something, where you're slowly forgetting like what you're supposed to remember.
No, this isn't that intense. I bring it up because I was reading a Reddit post the other night, and it just came up, and I thought it was pretty interesting. The example this guy gave was, he says it's around 2013 or so, and he was having a smoke in front of the apartments on the front steps in the middle of the day, around noon. He got up to head back, and just for a few fleeting seconds while looking at the building, it looked totally unfamiliar. I knew I lived there. I knew it was my home. I knew I had stepped outside only 5 minutes previously, but my brain was giving me some kind of indication that I had never seen this place before, and that there was danger inherent. He kind of just violently wagged his head back and forth, like an aggressive no, just shaking his head. And it just went back to normal. But, kind of a scary phenomenon. I was wondering if you ever had anything like that happen to you. You walk into your classroom and all of a sudden you think, wow, this is new.
I don't think I have. I don't think I've personally I don't think I've personally experienced something like that. Have you experienced something like that?
I haven't, no, but everybody that I know has experienced like deja vu. So I was just curious, how many people have had the opposite happen?
I know. Okay, I don't know. I haven't had that experience, at least not yet, or at least not that I could remember off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I've had plenty of deja vu experiences.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Plenty. And it's like, I feel like every time I have the experience of deja vu, I feel like as if it's like I had it as a dream first.
Right.
And then like years later, and I'm talking years later, it'll happen in real life for some reason. And it's not like something like I'm predicting the future or anything. It's like a weird conversation. It's just a conversation that I remember having or something.
It's kind of weird in the moment while it's happening, because like you feel like you could predict what they're gonna
say. Yeah, what they're gonna say. Like I feel like there was a few times where, and I feel like I have this pretty often too. I'll be sitting with like my friends, and then we'll be talking about like our whatever lives, our boyfriends or whatever, and then I as they're talking, I know what they're gonna say as they're saying it.
You ever try to say it?
No.
Because I think it's just out of reach. It's like, this is very familiar. Like, I remember this. It's like remembering lines from a movie that you saw 5 years ago, It's just like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I know what's gonna happen.
It's literally just how you said it. It's just out of reach for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I have it so often. I don't know why. And it's so strange. Like you said, it's so strange when you have it. Like, in particular, like I said, it happened. I know for sure with me and my friends that I've had it. And I remember immediately after the conversation was over, I like interrupted them. I'm like, dude, I'm having the craziest deja vu moment right now. I knew you were going to, and I told them, I'm like, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Like, have we had this conversation before? Like, it's just crazy. Like, sometimes, like, because sometimes I don't mention it. I don't mention that, oh, this is deja vu. I remember telling them specifically, like, dude, stop talking right now. I'm having a deja vu moment, a crazy deja vu moment right now.
Yeah.
Have and yeah, but I've never heard what what you're mentioning before. That's
Opposite.
weird.
I still don't know how to pronounce it. Jamais vu.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
what.
jamais vu.
Huh.
That's the silent. But yeah, I mean it's interesting because I'm kind of curious how it works because if I'm remembering right, I think deja vu was explained to me before as like your brain is just like kind of misfiring, like it's putting your short-term memory into your long-term memory, which is why you get that sensation of like, oh, I've been here before, I've seen this before, I know this is going to happen, because you're kind of drawing from it from your long-term memory part of your brain, right? So I'm just curious, is like, I mean, if that's true, then what's going on with the opposite, with Jean Vu, where it's like, like you just forget, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. For a few seconds, you forgot what your house looked like. You turn around, you look at it, and you're like, that's not my house, but everything is telling you, yeah, it is. That's my car parked in front of it.
That'd be scary.
That's my lawn. That's my wife.
If I were to have that moment, I think I'd be really scared. Like, oh my God, I need to go to the doctor. Like, I need to go to the fucking ER. There's something wrong with my memory or something.
Oh yeah.
That would be a scary moment.
Yeah, I'd be convinced I had a mental break.
Ugh.
Well, there I go.
Yeah, that would be scary because sometimes I feel, well, not sometimes, I feel like all the time, but all the time I just feel like I have a horrible memory. Like, I'll step into a room and I'm forgetting what I stepped into the room for, or like I forget people's names, or I forget my password, or
I'm terrible with names and dates.
I don't know. I'm just very forgetful, especially like if we had plans for the weekend, like, I'd probably forget after that day's over and be like, oh wait, we had plans this weekend.
Yep.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Or like if someone were to tell me like that they're pregnant, and then like I'd carry on the rest of my week and then be like, oh yeah, you did tell me you were pregnant.
Oh, who's just pregnant?
I was like, oh shit, I forgot you did tell me that.
Yep.
I feel I'm very forgetful. The only way I can remember is to write things down, or like to immediately put it in my phone, like calendar or something like that. Like, that's
I
the
still
only,
won't remember.
that's the only way I could really remember. I have a bunch of, like, at work, I have a bunch of Post-its on my desk just to remember things, or like to make sure certain things are due, or remember that to expect a call from so and so or something like that. Like, I constantly have Post-it notes all over my desk to remember all of my stuff.
Well, there you go. That works.
Well, where did that word, or that opposite, deja vu, or what is it called?
It's just jamais vu.
Jamais vu.
It just popped up when I was reading through some stories people were telling. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. There's another story I read about an unusual punishment. So this guy, he basically broke the law. He was hunting foxes while you weren't supposed to hunt foxes, or something like that, right? So instead of the normal prison time that he would have done, or the fines, or whatever the rules for hunting those foxes during that time, the judge actually made him put fox urine inside of his house.
What?
Fox urine. So he had to have an open container of fox urine in each one of the rooms. And for anybody who doesn't know, fox urine is apparently very potent. Very potent.
Oh.
It smells like fucking fox urine. It smells like piss.
Well, I mean, it's just an asparagus fumed
It's
urine, maybe?
thick and heavy in the air is how it's described.
I mean,
So,
I wouldn't know.
You know, like this guy kind of, I'm sure if he's facing prison time, obviously he took the fox urine. He's like, you know what? Fuck that. Like, I'm not going to prison. I could deal with a bad smell instead of, losing my freedom. So like the rules of his thing was he was going to have a probation officer or parole officer that had to check up on him, and drop by and make sure he actually had the urine opened in every room that he was in. Right. And she apparently did. She would show up at night too, and just to make sure he didn't have the windows open or fans blowing, that sort of thing.
You can't even have...
Nope, he had to just sit there and deal with it.
Oh, you can't even have the windows open?
Yeah, and what sucks for this guy is he had a wife too, a wife and kids. They basically, like, after like the first time they opened it up, they were like, no, we're gonna go stay with his in-laws, with her parents. So that's what they ended up doing. They went and moved in with the relatives while he had to deal with this thing by himself. But what it ended up turning into is like there's, every night he would wake up and gag because of the stench.
Ew.
He couldn't really get a good night's sleep during that time. He just started reeking of it. He would smell like it. And apparently, like foxes are one of the animals, like most, where they use their urine to mark their territory. So you can imagine how potent it's supposed to be. So
shit.
That shit soaks into your skin a little bit, soaks into your pores.
Oh.
So even after it was all over, after it's all said and done, his house stinks like urine. Oh. He's going to have to tear up that carpet. He's going to have to get... I don't even know. He's going to have to repaint everything. Everything is going to have to be done. And that still might not even take away the smell of the urine.
It would soak into all your clothes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Your sheets
and
absolutely
towels. Did. Everything is ruined. Everything has to be gone. All the furniture needs to be replaced. It's like it's almost better to take the prison time at that point. That way, at least your shit is still intact. Well, anyways. Yeah, so, I mean, that's not fun for that guy. So afterwards, he still smelled like it. His wife would let him know, like, yeah, you stink. You smell like urine. And this is weeks after the fact.
That's disgusting. Basically
ruin this dude's life. I thought you couldn't have cruel and unusual punishments. Maybe they just didn't know, and they're like, that sounds good. This sounds like justice, right? Let's make this guy smell like urine.
It most likely wasn't in the U.S. then.
I mean, it could have been. I don't know. I don't know where it was. He didn't say specifically.
Fuck that, man. Fuck that. Especially if it were you, if you did that shit, oh hell no. I would leave too.
I'd go to prison.
I would leave too. I'd be like, no, you stay in here and you're gonna clean up after too. Make sure it doesn't smell at all like piss when I come back.
No, I can't deal with smells like that. I have a weak stomach when it comes to smells, so there's no way. I would never accepted that as a punishment. I'm like, nope, absolutely not. Judge, I'll take the 10 years.
He barfs when our dog takes a shit, so.
Hey, that dog shits stinky shits.
He can barely pick up a bag of dog poop, or else he goes bleh, bleh.
I do. I power through it. You gotta do what you gotta do for your dog.
Ooh, yeah, that's gross. Yeah, that's definitely a cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, it certainly is. That is messed up.
Okay, this isn't. I thought of something, but this isn't exactly related to fox piss, but it reminded me of something gross and torturous.
Let's hear it.
Torturous for me, at least.
What happened?
So when was working at a shoe store, and I was working with one of my best friends. That's how I met one of my best friends. And it was like a slow day or a slow couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this one particular guy, so in a shoe store, you'll measure kids' feet for them to figure out what size they are, or like,
Sure.
hand them shoes, help a kid put on their shoes, help a lady put on her shoes, something like that. So this guy came in once, and it was just me and my friend. We're just both girls. Only girls worked there. And this guy came in, and he wasn't the cleanest, but he was mentioned, and he had like some weird slides on. And I had never heard of the brand that he had, but they were the And One brand. Have you heard of that one?
I have not. No.
And One. Okay. Apparently, that brand of shoe is in prisons.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so I'm sure they sell it. There's a store or something like that, but
Right.
a website, something. But I guess, but it was mentioned to me later. Anyway, so this guy came in. He wanted to get some shoes. I don't remember the kind of shoes, and he was wearing those slides, and he didn't have a sock on, I believe. So
Wait, he had one sock on? Or
he didn't have any socks. So
No
it was just
socks,
the
okay.
slip. He just had his barefoot just slipped on the slides.
Okay.
And so he wanted shoes, and he wanted his foot measured. This grown man wanted his foot measured.
Right.
And I was like, me and my friend were looking at each other like, who's going to measure this fucking dirty ass guy's foot? Like, his toes were all like long and like,
oh no,
he had rough feet, and it's just gross. And I was just like, fuck, like,
yeah, them crusty flakies, huh?
I was like, we were looking at each other, and I guess I was like, oh well, I guess I have to do it.
You bit the bullet on you, did it?
I think it's because I was the one who walked up to him first, like, hey, how can I help you, type of thing, like, let me help you find your shoe, right? And my friend was laughing at me because I had to do it.
Oh no.
And so I like bent down, like on my knees to get to the floor, brought out the little measuring thing, and I was just like, oh, this is gross. Like, I'm not gonna touch your foot. I'm just going to put the fucking thing here. You put your foot on here, and you're going to measure it yourself, type of thing. Like, and I put the thing down, oh, this is your size, whatever. And my friend was just like laughing at me because I had to like help this dirty ass fucking guy. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, apparently, like, my friend was telling me that he was like checking my butt out as I walked away.
Oh man.
Obviously, at least what it seemed is that he just wanted his foot to be measured just because there were only ladies working there.
Of course. Yep.
He wanted a girl close to him or something. But
He was
just
a nasty dude.
I was just like grossed out, and like this guy, I mean, my friend, like I said, my friend was laughing at me because I had to do it. And at the end of the day, I think I chose some shoes for him, and he left because he didn't want any of them.
He's like, nah.
He literally just came in, wasted my time.
I'll keep my slides.
Oh, I think he did mention that he came from prison, that he didn't have any other shoes or something like that. That brand, that's why he had that brand of shoe or something like that. And my friend had mentioned to me like, oh yeah, that must be true because he has this brand of shoe. I don't know. I've never heard or seen that brand since, so I don't know if that's true. If that brand of shoe is in particular to, I don't know, prisons or not. But yeah, it was called like And One, and it was gross. But
that is gross. That's nasty. Come on, man.
I worked.
Wash your fucking feet.
In customer service for a long time. I mean, I still do, but it's not like something like that.
At least you're not front facing now.
Yeah. Customer service sucks.
Yep, for everybody. For everyone involved.
There's this one time in that same job, that shoe store that I had, where this is not a gross story, though. I had found out So let me rewind. Me and this other girl were working, and one of the other girl's friends came in to hang out and talk to her while she was working. So it was me working, her working, and then her friend.
Right.
And I had recognized her friend from high school. My high school wasn't very far away from the store that I worked at, the shoe store that I worked at. And she had recognized me too, apparently, because she told my coworker that I had cheated on my ex-boyfriend. And I have never cheated on anybody.
Ooh.
But later on, when we were closing, my coworker came up to me like, almost like as a, like, hey, I heard, like basically that type of thing. Like, hey, my friend told me that you cheated on your boyfriend. Like, is that true? Like, she was trying to get the gossip from me because apparently her friend knew my ex-boyfriend at the time. And she was like, hey, like, I heard that, like, I guess my friend knew your ex-boyfriend and that you cheated on him in high school. And it was like a really messy breakup.
That's scandalous. How you gonna be walking into a store starting some shit?
I know.
That's crazy.
I never talked to this girl before. I just recognized her from around high school, but it's just like a thing that like she brought up immediately to my coworker. Like, oh my god,
You're the one
girl.
that cheated.
You're the infamous cheater.
That's where I know you from.
And I remember this girl, obviously, since just from seeing her around. So I was like, wait, what? And when she told me, like, oh yeah, she told me that you cheated on one of her friends. I'm like, what the fuck are you, like, I've never cheated on anybody. Like, who the fuck is she talking about? It was my first boyfriend ever. And it was like high school relationship. It was in high school. I was 15 when I met him. But it was like, like those high school relationships are weird,
Yeah.
So in high school, I remember...
It was probably him saying that he told everybody that you cheated. That's why you guys broke up.
I know, but I was thinking about it later, and I remember telling her that it wasn't true, though. And I was, like, kind of confused for a while, like, what the fuck? Like, I never cheated on him. And I was thinking back, like, wait, did he think... So what happened, what I think what happened, is that I had a class in high school with this guy, and I remember making friends with this guy in my one class, and I would walk out at the same time we would walk out of the same class for a while, talk for a little bit, and then after that we disperse. And I think he thought I cheated on him with that guy that I just randomly was talking to out of the class for a while.
Could be. That could be it.
And it was weird because in high school he never broke up with me or anything, and I never broke up with him.
You guys are still together. You're cheating on him with me.
Well, I guess at one point he just stopped talking to me. I remember specifically he just stopped talking to me, stopped texting me, stopped hanging out with me out of the blue, and I didn't know why. In high school, I never knew why he did that. I never knew why, and I was like completely heartbroken. I was just like, why isn't he talking to me? I guess this is him breaking up with me. I don't know why.
You were in high school when that happened?
Yes.
And he went to your high school?
Yes.
Why didn't you just walk up to him and be like, yo, what the fuck?
Well, at first he was like blowing me off like, well, I'm going to hang out with my friends like during lunch instead of doing the everyday, I'm going to be hanging out with you every lunch. Now, you know what? This time I'm going to hang out with my friends. And then it just became like that every day. And then he just stopped talking to me.
Oh, no.
And then he just never spoke to me again. And I was like, okay. And I was like really, heartbroken over it. It was my first boyfriend. I remember that. And I was like, well, I guess we're done. Like, I don't know what the hell to do. So I wrote a letter and I wrote it to him, and I like folded it up, and I had called him over to me just to grab it from me. I was like, here. And then I left. I'm like, here, read it. And then I left, and then I never spoke to him again. That's how my first relationship ended.
Oh, no.
And then, like I said, after this happened, was brought to my attention at work, I was like, is this why he thought I was cheating on him? He thought I was just walking out of class talking to another classmate a guy and thinking, oh, well, he's talking to she's talking to some guy now. Like, I guess she's cheating on me. It just makes me laugh, like, thinking about it now. Like, what the hell? Like, this is how my first relationship broke up because he thought I was cheating on him.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I don't know what cheating to him was.
I don't know. High school relationships are weird. They never end good. They never end good.
Did you ever have like break up with somebody because of something stupid, or even with like a friend? Like, did you ever stop talking to somebody because of something stupid?
No, I don't think I ever ghosted anybody.
I know, I was ghosted.
Yeah, that's what happened to you.
I literally was ghosted, and I remember just crying and like, my first relationship is over, and I don't know why. And I would try to call him, and he wouldn't respond to me. He would try to text him, he wouldn't respond. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is shitty.
Yeah, that's not cool. You don't ghost people. Give them a straight answer. Come on, have some balls.
I know. At least explain, like, oh, well, at least say, like, hey, like, I saw you talking to this boy.
Man, you don't even have to explain. At the bare minimum, all you have to do is say, hey, I'm not interested anymore. That's it. Done.
I guess. I mean,
done. That's peace of mind right there. All right, cool. Something you can move on with. When you're ghosted, it's like you're hung up for weeks.
I've been ghosted when I was dating people. Like, after I left high school and I was, like, dating as an adult.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common thing with like, especially with like dating apps and stuff. It's just
don't
so
ghost.
Easy to stop talking to them when they don't live on the same street.
I mean, yeah, or
they
like
live a few cities away or whatever, you know. It's like, well, I'm bored. I'm done.
Don't ghost people, guys. Like, that's so mean. Like, at least just say, hey, you know what? I'm not interested after all. Like, or just lie to them. Say, you know what? I'm actually seeing someone else and I like them now. And, you know, sorry.
Sorry, I've been cheating this whole time.
No, it's like in the dating stage. Because I remember, like, I'd probably go on a first date with somebody. You know, on a date, not everyone thinks the same thing. Like, obviously, I think I probably had gone on a few first dates with other people, and then
sure,
I'd probably, oh yeah, like I text them later, a few days later, whatever, like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see you again, and then they obviously didn't feel the same way, and they never responded.
They're like, oh,
I'm like, oh, I guess they didn't like me. I guess they didn't like me on the first date.
You talked about Fox P way too much.
The whole conversation, talking to your girlfriends later, like, dude, the whole conversation we had on our first date with him talking about this guy who had to suffer with fucking Fox P in his house.
Hey, that shit's terrible.
He was talking about how terrible Fox P smelled, and I was just like, I don't care. Like, why are we talking about Fox P on the first date? So I had to ghost his ass.
Gotta break the ice.
To break the ice, different conversations. That's disgusting. Imagine going through a date. Oh, one time I went on a first date with someone who didn't have teeth.
Who didn't have teeth? Not a single tooth.
No teeth.
Ugh, how old was he? 80?
No, he was my age. I don't know, like maybe.
You weren't even getting like a sugar daddy out of this? You were.
No, it was a first. I had
toothless chap.
I had found him on a dating
lad.
on a dating website. I don't know what dating website. And dude, he looked like Orlando Bloom. His pictures made him look like Orlando Bloom. He had like, you know, shoulder length hair, dark hair. He was, you know, had fair skin.
Nice.
He had colored eyes. Like, he looked really handsome. It looked like Pirates of the Caribbean style, like Orlando Bloom. Okay, that Orlando Bloom.
But he was never smiling.
And I was like, damn, like, he's cute. So I remember going on our first date. We were talking, And he was the one that mentioned, because I don't think I ever, at least not that I can remember, him ever smiling or anything like that, like to the point where he was showing his teeth. Maybe he'd laugh here and there, but I don't know. I can't remember him ever smiling or me getting that point. But he brought it up to me, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like I actually don't have teeth," and I was like, I like just stared at him like, "You don't have teeth?" Like I didn't believe him. Like I didn't believe him. Like, oh, haha. You know, I probably just like laughed because I thought he was kidding. Like, oh, very funny. But he's like, no, I don't have any teeth. Like it's a genetic thing. Like I just don't have teeth. And I was like, what? And then I think he showed me, because I think he knew that I wasn't gonna believe him.
He showed you all his gums, huh?
So I think he like made like a small like smile, just a quick flash of the gums.
Ugh, what did it look like?
I think he had little nubs of teeth,
That's
like
worse.
almost like babies, like baby teeth. I think he had little like here and there, like it wasn't like a full set of baby teeth. It was like a couple of front teeth that had like baby teeth or something.
That is wild. Damn, that's a genetic thing?
Apparently and he was explaining it or something, that his parents or somebody or something don't have it, or his dad or his mother didn't have it.
Runs in the family.
That it's a genetic thing. And I was like, fuck. Like,
what does he eat? This man has never had a steak.
And and I remember telling you, Kevin, and I remember telling somebody else after that happened. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, and I remember you and my friends asking me, well, what does he eat? And like, did you ask him that? And I remember telling them no, because I think I was too stunned.
I would have had so many questions.
I don't think I wanted to pry, because it's like,
do you still brush?
I didn't want to tell him that I was turned off at that point.
Well, of course.
Every
time you crack a joke, you have to look at his gummies.
Ew.
When he's laughing.
His gummies.
I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to bust your chops.
His gummies. Oh.
If somebody's out there listening with that. But
I think I was sympathetic, because it's like, I was a few things. I was sympathetic. I was shocked. I probably didn't really believe it 100%. And I didn't want to tell him, like, well, this is kind of a turnoff. Like, now I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to say, well, I can't wait to make a second date. Like, I felt sorry for him, because it's like, wow, that sucks. It must be hard to, date.
Well, why don't... I mean, dentures are a thing.
Well,
you don't
I
have
don't
to
know.
tell anybody.
I mean, they're not cheap.
But still, if you don't have teeth, you have an option to get some fucking teeth. There's an option. The cheapest one is dentures. After that, I don't know, veneers. If he's got little nubs, probably just toss some little fake teeth on him. I don't know.
I think there's a way where you could screw in teeth into your jaw too.
I don't know.
For all those people who hate their teeth because they're crooked or they're
At least you got them.
There's gaps in your teeth, or people who are embarrassed of their braces or something, like what Kevin said. At least you fucking have teeth. Like,
at least you got them.
Count your blessings.
Count them.
Imagine
this guy only has 3 nubs.
That's just another thing just to worry about. Oh, I mean, I don't know. It must be hard dating. I feel sorry for those people if that's a legitimate, like, genetic thing. Like, that sucks. That sucks. Imagine. I wouldn't know how to deal.
It'll be all you ever dealt with, at least if it's genetic.
Yeah.
You never had teeth to begin with. It's weird having teeth. You have to chew your food. You can't just eat oatmeal all day.
That sucks.
That does suck.
Do you guys have any nightmare dating stories? I'm sure there's plenty. I'm sure there's fucking plenty.
Tell us about your teethless men.
You guys share your stories. Send us an email. Life on Mute podcast.
Yep.
lifeonmutepodcast@gmail.com.
That's it. One of those.
It's that last one. lifeonmutepodcast@gmail.com.
Okay.
Send us an email. Tell us about your nightmare dating stories. I probably have a few. more than that. I don't know. I mean, those are the bigger ones. That one's the biggest one I think that I've ever had.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
Other than, people ghosted me. I remember having a first date with someone and the person didn't show up. I've been stood up once.
That's terrible. That sucks.
Is that a Starbucks?
I've had that happen.
And it sucks because it's like, no, you told me you never had that happen to you.
I feel like I might have.
When I told you my stood up story before off mic, I think you were like, oh, that sucks. Sucks to be you. I never had that happen to me.
That's usually my typical response to things.
I remember it like it just sucks that you get ready, you're excited to go out on a date, and then no one shows up, and you're left there thinking, well, did they come, and then they realize that they weren't attracted to me, right. And then they left.
Yeah, now you're mentioning it, I don't think I've had it happen like that. I've had like dates canceled like last minute, which is already kind of annoying because you mentally prepared yourself for that.
It was extra annoying. It was mostly annoying for me just because I had to get ready.
It sucks worse for women. Cause,
you know how to girls are with getting ready.
As a guy, I just, make sure I got clean underwear on and clean socks and I'm good, Wore the shirt yesterday, but it's still fine.
Do you comb your hair at least?
I'd never comb my hair. I just let it go.
You just roll out of bed?
You see my hair. I put a little bit of gel. I spend probably 20 seconds throwing this thing together. I just take the gel, put it in my hand, just swish it around and toss it in my hair. Bam.
Boys have it easy.
Easy.
But, that's the worst part about being stood up, right? You get there. I remember getting there. It was just a Starbucks date, too. It wasn't like at a dinner or anything. I just showed up.
Yeah.
Was looking around. Okay, where's the guy I'm trying to meet? And I remember looking around at all the tables and people were sitting at. And I'm like, no, these people aren't waiting for... None of these people are waiting for anybody. And, like, there's people, like, with other people or people doing their homework at Starbucks. And then it's like no other tables are open other than that. And I remember calling the guy a few times. And he wasn't answering. It was just ringing, and ringing. And I would text him. He wouldn't respond. And I don't think I stayed there longer than, like, 10 minutes. So I was like, well, okay, I guess he's not coming then. And I was like, well, fuck him. He's not answering. Either he's late or...
He's dead.
Or he's sitting in his car, didn't like how I looked. And he's like, no, fuck this bitch. Like, I'm just going to pretend that she doesn't exist. And then I just like, well, fuck. And I remember calling my friend all driving back. I was like, pissed, like, I can't believe I wasted my makeup. I did my hair. This is expensive ass makeup. I drove all the way over here. And like for nothing.
Yeah.
What do I do now? I look nice. And I was like, and I even asked her like, hey, can you come out? You want to go somewhere? I don't want to make this all go to waste. And I think she did. She's like, okay, like let me just put on some shoes or whatever. And the nice friend that she was, I think we went to just go get Starbucks after that anyway.
There you go. At least you got your Starbucks.
But yes, tell us your guys' stories. Send us an email and we'll read your stories on the next podcast.
Let's hear them.
But I think that is all for today, right, Kevin?
That's all I have.
Okay. Well, if you guys are listening, please give us a rating. Spread the word to you guys, to your friends, to your family. We really enjoy making this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy listening to us. And, just keep on listening. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.